Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Wednesday Paint Day. You know where you're at. It is time for art. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Before we get started, I want to do that roll call again. So if everybody who's watching this video live on Facebook, if you could go to the comment section, let me know that you're here, because Allison and I don't get to see who's participating in our video unless you guys send us a little comment, say hello. And today for a roll call, if you guys could do me a favor, I want you guys to let me know which of the social media platforms that we have been plugging every single video, that Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I want to know where you guys are finding us, where you guys are connected, and which one's your favorite. So let me know in the comments. Let me know that you're here, and let me know your favorite place to interact with us on our social media. And then today we have an amazing Wednesday Paint Day for you guys. We've been talking about this all month. It's this guy here. It's the desert road. I'm so excited to paint it. We're going to be doing a ton of color mixing today. So get ready for that. We also have a little bit of different setup, we're going to do this. It's the last day last time we're going to do the YouTube video where we say goodbye to you guys and we send you guys to the YouTube video. We're going to do it today because we said we would, and we wanted to show you guys the different format, but it will be the last one. So going forward after this, Allison and I are going to be we're going to be painting live every single Wednesday instead of sending you guys to the video. It seems to be much more popular. You guys seem to enjoy it more. I know Allison and I really like it a lot more when we get to talk ourselves through the entire process. So a couple quick notes to say about that, some housekeeping tips. One is all of the social media platforms and the links and whatnot, I will be putting in the comment sections like I do. And so you'll be able to find them there. And then two, Allison, I forgot what I was going to say.
We're shipping on Friday.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Right. Back to the housekeeping.
That's what you wanted to say.
So we are the boxes for March will ship out on Friday. So everybody, last month we ran into some winter storms back east that we don't deal with here in Arizona. And here in Arizona, they slowed down some of the deliveries. So we're going to get ahead of that this month, and your boxes will ship on Friday. So get ready and look out for that. What else we have here? A calendar is going to come in your box coming next month. So we're really excited for the calendar. It's going to give you a lot of information up front so that you're not learning about things day of. It'll let you know what painting we're going to do that day, what drawing exercise we might do that day. It'll also we're going to start doing these monthly challenges that we're currently doing right now for the Desertscape. So the scenes, the Scout Hoffman coined the phrase. So
yeah,
it's a scene. Yeah, it absolutely is. So it'll have all that information on the calendar so that you can be prepared for it. And a lot of times I know, Allison will start the day off where she's got some pages painted in her journal already, and that'll give you some idea of how to get prepared so that you can hit the ground running with us. That's what I was going to say is for the transitioning out of the YouTube video for Wednesday Paint Day, going back to what we started originally, for those of you who have been with us since the very beginning, we used to do the whole painting together, walk ourselves through it, and it can be a little long. And so just so we can set the expectation for you guys, I just want you guys to know that we're always going to have our videos, our live streams, our interaction with you guys on Mondays and Wednesdays are always going to fall somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half. So that's our commitment to you on the drawing days and whatnot, so you guys can budget your time. On these Wednesday paint days, because it seems that everybody, including us, enjoys doing the painting together instead of on a YouTube video, because we're going to start doing it live, want you to know that there might be times where we go over an hour and a half, but that's because we're going to walk you guys through every step. But we don't expect you guys to stay on for any longer than you can, any longer than time than you've budgeted, and know that the video of us going through every step together will now be the what we upload to YouTube and whatnot, so that when you guys, if you want to hit that painting, let's say you can't hit a live stream, come to a live stream with us, or maybe you can only come for so long and you want to finish your painting later, you'll be able to see that video that we did that day on all of our social media. You'll be able to find it on Facebook, you'll be able to find it on YouTube, so that you guys can walk yourselves through it. So you'll still get the same, same step-by-step process. It was just, you may not get it all in a concise time like those speeded up YouTube videos used to be. We've got more submissions. I think Allison is ready to show us her submission for this month's challenge. Yeah, show us.
I went ahead and kind of finished up my geographic landscapes. This is the one we all did together. And then this is another one I did. Ooh. And this one super stylized, right? Just I kept the hard outlines, and this is kind of flat color and blocks. The only real transition is this kind of ombre sky. And so and it was done on the kind of lavender background. And so I really like this one. I
want to say about that one, the way you painted the color differences, the way the mountain in the furthest back mountain gets so much lighter, and it shows that depth.
Yeah, that's atmospheric perspective, and it is very astute of you to pick up on that. So, yeah. And then we just talked about, we're going to do a perspective month, and so and we'll talk about.
I saw the drawings, and when I saw the landscape drawings, I have them here. I remember thinking to myself, like, well, where would I put that ramp? But if you think about them being so much further back, and these ones being so close, then there's a space for the ramp.
You can always drop something in the foreground and reset the whole way you're looking at something. So yes, so here's the ram. Here is one I did with it, kind of like soul sand dune. And I played with this one a few different ways. And what I ended up doing was I was like, do I put something over on the right side? And what I did was sort of create kind of another light area to kind of tie in these sort of botanicals with this side. So this kind of serpentine line that sort of unites these two planes kind of worked like that. So, and then I put up, it's either the sun or the moon, and I've decided I don't care. But so I don't know if we're looking at this in really bright moonlight because it's kind of a dark sky or what. And I made these sort of very geometric, very if you were doing these graphically, it'd be called low poly. They're sort of very simplistic forms. And I didn't do the prickles. I made them very, very simple. And so this is another one. And then for my sign challenge.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Here is, I used the template that had the sort of serpentine river running through it. And I sort of made different parts of the river, different colors. You could put sand between them. You could do anything you want. You could take them out. But that's what I did with this one. And then I did a really big sun, which I thought was kind of a fun way to sort of weight this differently. So big sky, big sun. And then I dropped in the motel pool, and I put in a little bit of a cast shadow. So if the sun's coming this way, it would cast a shadow in this direction. And then past the river in the far distance, I have the motel in the pool.
Oh, so that's the motel in the pool from the sign. Got you.
And so I think, again, these are kind of little thumbnail paintings that we do, but we put a lot into them. So I always really love these, but I think this is the one, not only am I submitting for the challenge, but that I am going to, I think a version of this will be my final painting that I do a week from today.
Very cool. Very cool. So guys, Allison is throwing the gauntlet down. Like, make sure you get your sign challenges in by Friday. Yep. So we could get that. We could find out that winner. So we can get it in the box by Friday and send that out to you. That prize, that $20 gift card from Starbucks. And then one last housekeeping thing before we move on to my favorite painting ever is we're really interested in your feedback. You guys, this has been such a journey for all of us. Like everyone, you know, either you're on an art journey and that's your journey, or you're on an art journey and you're also learning how to do these hosting, whatever, or maybe you're on an art journey and you're also starting a new company. Like, you know, some of, you know, so it's a journey. Like, so we'd really like your feedback is what I'm trying to say. And there's a couple things in particular that we're really looking forward for in your feedback. If you could help us out with that. We'd like to know, one, what's your favorite part? What is it that you like the most about what we've been doing and what we've done? Because a lot of these live streams have been different. So we kind of like go with the flow. So let us know what you like so we can make sure we hit that every time. And then also let us know what you'd like to see, that we're something maybe that we're not doing that we can do that would help you out in your art journey, or, you know, or getting to a live stream or anything, you know, however it may be, whatever you want to give us. Whatever feedback you can give us is invaluable, and we really appreciate you guys so much.
Yes.
And just real quick, you can send those your comments and your feedback to info@timeforsubscriptions.com. Then that's where, and that will be, I'll put all this information in the comments section. So Allison, what did you want to add?
I was just going to say, the reason we're changing the video format is because we thought the videos would be really informative and you could do them at any time. And if you wanted to cut right to the videos and not do them live with us, that'd be a really great option. We're actually getting kind of the opposite response. We're getting the videos are too fast, questions are difficult, and it's and we get, when we think it's the most exciting projects we're doing, we get more participation and involvement when we aren't doing videos than when we are. So we're going to do another one today. We're going to see how it goes. But we're going to also try a month where we just sit and paint together. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that's how we're going to do it. And we'll see if we like that format more. We might arrive at a different format, but we tried the videos. We're going to try something else.
Isn't one of the videos different today? Like when we did something different last painting day that we asked them to kind of take note of.
Yes.
Everybody.
So in this instance, we found out you can't rewind something live. You can pause something live. You can't rewind something live. I thought you could. I think I might have even said it. You can't do it. So go ahead and pause and ask us questions the whole time if we can. And you can also find it on our link tree on YouTube. So it's on there as I think it's Desert Road, and we'll go from there. So I'm just gonna take everyone really quickly through kind of a few tips and tricks for this painting, and then we'll put the video on and see how you like it this time. We're gonna change it up next time, and then we'll talk some more to our subscribers, because we just want this to be the most pleasant, informative art experience it can possibly be. We want everyone to do work they're really proud of and everyone to learn, and so that's where we are with it. So these are the color. Oh, that's my light.
There you go.
Come on. There we go. All right. And you are going to be using your deep blue, your crimson red, and your orange. Those are the colors. And this is a very simple painting, but there are a lot of steps and a lot of colors mixed. And so I went ahead and transferred it. We're going to put the video on. Don't feel the need. So this is just, I mean, I'm just going to do a really quick kind of lay of the land of how this will go. So we're going to wash in all the colors first. So for example,
okay,
I'm just going to do it sort of with the sky just to show everybody kind of how that goes. So the first thing it'll probably tell you to do is to do a really loose sky layer. Just like that. So you'll kind of wash that in. Again, the video will tell, do a good job of this, but you will just sort of put this in as is. And you'll fill in the whole painting like this first. All right. And it'll have you mix some other colors. And this is a lot of color mixing.
Yeah, there's a lot of color mixing in this painting, which I think is so exciting. I think that's
oh, it's so fun. And then it'll have you then paint in the sky. For example. So you will with more paint than that. And you'll probably let it kind of dry before that. And when we do this again, we'll have to pull out the hairdryer and everything else. We're going to paint the whole thing live, but we still think that will be, based on the feedback we're getting, a better experience than what we're doing right now. Then it'll tell you to paint in the sky. And this particular sky, the time of day, it's dark on top and light on the bottom.
One thing that I forgot to mention to everybody while Allison's showing us how to do this part of everything is that friends and family 20 discount. So if you've got people that are checking out your artwork already and saying, wow, I can't believe how talented you are. I mean, that's what's going on in my life. I don't know if it's going on in your life, but, and they're getting so excited about your journey through art and whatnot. Grab them, tell them, bring them into this community. We're building an art community here of people. So friends and family 20, that's the discount code. Tell them to go on to timeforsubscriptions.com. They'll type in friends and family 20 and they'll get a 20% discount on their orders. So
yes, and if they want to subscribe for next month, that will be, we need it before Friday. We're shipping on Friday, so Thursday, anytime Thursday.
Right. Okay. The good point. Good point. So end of day, midnight Thursday, get those friends and family discount codes out to all your friends, and I'll put all this stuff in the comments.
Okay, so then it's going to tell you to paint in your sky. So I just did that, okay? It'll tell you to do that for the whole painting. The next step will kind of be to clean up your sky, right? So, okay, it looks like I overlapped a cloud right here. So you'll go back in and kind of hit your lines again. And that is how this painting is done.
Okie dokie.
So you'll wash everything in first.
And then are you washing in with white or are you washing in with water?
Water.
Water, okay.
Always wash with water. Good question though. And then you'll paint everything in. So that's just kind of how this particular painting is set up. We set up some other ones, but just kind of keep that in mind. So I'm painting in my clouds, and then I'll do an example of how you might clean up your clouds. So I painted in my clouds, and then we've moved on to some other parts of the painting. That was my reference. I just did on the floor. And then they'll be like, okay, well, it's lightest on top of these clouds. So I'm going to really kind of work in the lighter side of my clouds on top. And that's how this painting goes. And if you follow those steps, you're going to get a really awesome landscape painting. And a lot of paintings, I do this way, not all of them. We didn't really do our cacti like this, but it's a really good way to work where you get everything in and then you paint everything in and then you kind of do a detail round or a cleanup round where you're like, okay, now I know where everything goes. What do I do from there? So that
process is so cool for that. So saving the lines when you're, trying to put stuff in. So that's great.
Yeah. Another kind of goofy but true tip here is the green we use in this painting is blue and what this particular manufacturer calls orange. It's a very orangey yellow. And the reason we're mixing this green, look at that beautiful green.
Yeah.
And the reason we're mixing this green and we're not using the green provided is because because these are the three colors we're using, it's very harmonious to get the green that these three colors make. And so it's going to feel very, very congruent and it's like we're playing with kind of the same chords. That's a music reference I don't fully understand.
Right.
But
that's a good analogy.
And so we're hitting some cool colors, we're hitting some warm colors, there's a lot of different colors in this painting, but the reason it looks so beautiful and so harmonious is because all of the colors are coming from these three. So there's that. And
Really amazing.
Yeah, and Hershey and I are going to be available for questions as you go. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. We're going to share the screen. We're going to put the video on. Hershey and I are going to go camera off because then you can see the whole screen.
Did you get that text message from me, Al? With the link?
Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay. The link, I have it. Yes. And all right. So
guys, just remember this is the last time we're doing it this way, but we will still be available for you. Please write in your questions as you have them. I'll be monitoring the comment section and talking with Al and getting back to you guys. And there's one more thing. My mind today is gone.
And then if for whatever reason you're like, bring back the videos, we don't like to paint with you, it goes too long and it's frustrating, we're interested in that feedback.
Yes.
So please, please, please tell us. Okay, so I am changing the screen share to desktop 1. And then I'm going to stop my video.
You guys are seeing this is the back end of it. This is the nuts and bolts.
This is, yeah, how the sausage gets made. All right, Hershey, can you turn off your video?
Let's see here. I'm sure I can. I think I did.
All right, we're good. And then I'm going to put this on full screen. There we go. All right, and we're going to get started.
We are painting the desert road. So you're going to get everything out, and the colors today are blue, orange, crimson, red, and covering white. So go ahead and adhere, hinge your outline to your canvas panel. Get it all set up there just like that. Go ahead and pause. Set up. Grab your transfer paper. You want it sticky side down, sticky glossy side down. And go ahead and start your outline. And the way you do this is you trace each line with a pen or a pencil. And we're going to trace every line in this instance. Apply some pressure, and you will get a really nice graphite line on your canvas panel. And on this particular painting, the technique we are going to use is we are going to wash in all the colors, and then we are going to paint in all the colors, and then we are going to refine our painting from there. So that's what we're going to do. And as always, we will encourage you to watch the entire step, and then we're going to mark a place where we tell you to pause, and then go ahead and pause. And you can either rewatch that step, or you can go ahead and paint, which is what we encourage you to do. But watch each step, pause where we tell you to, and paint is our plan. All right, go ahead and remove your graphite paper and fold back your outline. And there you go. There's your whole painting. Go ahead and pause. All right, now that everything is in place, go ahead and reach for your blue, drop that in a well. Reach for your orange and give that a nice drop in a well. This orange is also a lot like a yellow. It's got a lot of yellow in it, and we will use it that way. And reach for your red and drop that in its own well. And then you're going to grab your blue again and drop that into the same well as the red. And grab a lot of water on your biggest brush and mix your red with your blue. And this is the washing everything in stage. A wash is a very loose, watery solution that you're going to paint with. So we got a lot of water there. Go ahead and pause, mix your colors, and paint in your road. We're gonna wash on the tops of the rocks too, but this is a very loose, watery stage, and we're basically marking everything off. So we know where everything is. We're making a nice map for ourselves with a loose, watery coat of paint. Grabbing my smaller brush, and I'm painting in with our loose, watery solution, the tops of the rocks. Anywhere you see that really dark violet color, we are filling it in with some violet right here. So that's that background area in the middle, the tops of the rocks. Go ahead and pause, wash in your violets. Grab your medium brush, get some water on it, and paint in your rocks. We're making them all orange. And I grab my medium brush because I want to really be careful and go around what will be our bushes. So that's kind of what I'm taking my time to do. And the reason we're washing in color is so you keep your lines so you can still see them. That's why we do this. That's the method to the madness. So I'm washing in all the areas that are kind of reddish or yellow. They're all going to be washed in with an orange at this point. And then you're going to loosen up your blue and wash in the sky. Going around the clouds. And again, we don't have to be too careful, but we want to be able to see our lines. So we have a nice map from where to go there. Go ahead and pause. All right. Reach for your red. Drop that in its own well. Reach for your blue, drop that in its own well. And reach for your orange. And you're actually gonna drop that in the same well as your blue. And in this particular instance, your orange is gonna work like yellow and make a really beautiful forest green. And the reason we're making our green that way is because we're going for a really tight color palette because you get really harmonious color that way. And we're gonna go ahead and mix the green with the colors we're using. Go ahead and paint in your bushes. Wash in your bushes. Again, this is our very loose, watery stage. And it's tricks like these where you use the same colors, the same 3 colors to mix everything that keep your painting really, really consistent. And so we're just anywhere on the reference that you see a bush, make that green right now with our loose, watery solution. All right, loosen up the red you dropped in before, and we're gonna wash in the red parts of the rocks. So that's up, these kind of striping the top left side. Being kind of careful around some of these bushes. This sort of median red stripe. This base area in the front left foreground. Background areas, that sort of center stripe on the right rock, the base. Go ahead and wash out your brush, wash those areas in. Reach for your blue. Add blue to that existing well. Reach for your white. We're going to drop that in the middle because we're going to keep drawing from it. And add a little bit to your blue. Mix your blue with your white. And at this point, we're actually going to start painting. So this is going to be the first layer of thick, dense paint that we apply to the canvas. So we're mixing up our sky blue, and we're going to paint that, add a little water, but we're going to paint the top of the sky first with our big brush. Generously apply a loose, thick layer of paint to the top of the sky. Cover up all the holes. And now we're going to add some white to that same mixture because your sky gets lighter as it gets closer to the horizon line, and paint in the rest of the sky. And I started with a big brush, and I chose a smaller brush to get into those little nooks and crannies. And then I blended where the 2 paints came together. Go ahead and pause, paint in your sky. grab your crimson red and your blue, same red we've been using, but I call it by its full name this time. We're using about equal parts. I would say a little bit less blue than red. Mix that up. Mix this really deep, beautiful violet color. Grab some white, add it to your violet color. And it's still gonna be a rich purple, or rich violet, but it's gonna be a little bit lighter than it was. And then take a dollop of that, put that in another well and add some white. And that's gonna be your lighter violet color. This is gonna be what we paint our road with. Get that going. So I think it's a full shade lighter. Using the big brush, paint in the top of your road. Generously apply, keep it nice and wet. Now reach for your darker tone, paint that into the base. Then we're gonna massage those two together, get a lot of water on your brush and blend. I'm just gonna kind of even that out for a little while. Clean it up with some water. Blend that together. We have a nice smooth transition. Go ahead and pause, paint the road. All right, you're gonna reach for your orange. Drop that in a well. Then reach for your red. Drop that right next to it, equal parts. Grab that violet tone. Whatever you have left, really either one will work. If you're light tone or your dark tone, it'll just be a little different. And add some of that to your red-orange mixture, and we're gonna get this really beautiful rosy rust color. And we're gonna paint that into all of the areas that are kind of reddish at this point. We're gonna start with this, and then we're gonna work our way up from there, but that's gonna be the top of your big rock on the left, this striping on the rock on the right, this background tone a little bit. There's kind of a wedge, this medium, this area in the foreground on the left. We're gonna start with this rust tone and move our way out from there. So hit all those areas, and then I'm reaching for my smaller brush. And this was the red that was already there. If you need more red, add it. So this is just straight up red. And I am going to paint in the red. So it kind of transitions up from that rust area. I'm gonna make that straight up red. Underneath that rosy stripe the rosy rust stripe that we just added. Underneath that stripe right there. Some of these small areas, go ahead and pause, get in the rust in the red. Grab your orange and then add your orange to the red. We're gonna need more red there. Grab your white, drop some white into both of those wells. Grab your medium brush. Mix up this light orange tint. Becomes kind of a medium orange. And then you're gonna mix this red orange tint. And if you look, that's not different enough from what we had before. So we're gonna add some red to that. So we're gonna have a red orange plus white and orange plus white. And starting with that red orange, this kind of peachy orange, we're gonna mix that into what's already there. So that's this kind of milky tone that we're adding now to the tops of our rocks. We added it to the middle, some of these areas on the side. Then we're gonna do, really fill in the rest of our rocks with this orange and white tone. So the rest of the orangey parts of the rocks. So everywhere you don't have paint, we're gonna fill it in with that tone. And if you see, our rocks are really shaping up. We've got a lot of nice color and transition. And now I'm just taking a smaller brush and I'm moving the paint that's already on my canvas around with some water and filling in the holes. And just touching it up wherever I see that it needs more of something. Right now I'm going in with some of the rosy, kind of peachy orange color. I really like that color. All right, go ahead and pause. Fill in those rocks. Now we're gonna grab our lighter violet mixture. And if you need to make more of that, it was the red and the orange plus white, or the red and the blue plus white. And we are just going to generously, with a loose brush stroke, paint in the bases of the clouds. Keep it nice and wet because we're going to be transitioning, wet on wet. And I'm going to add some white to that. And I am going to massage that into what's there. Fill in a little more of the clouds. We're working our way up. Paint it in with a nice, loose, wide brush stroke. And then, go ahead and pause. Get that in. We're going to reach for our white that's probably got some noise, probably got some blue in it. And I'm going to hit the tops of the clouds with the white that was left on my canvas. If you need to add more, grab more white. We're going to massage that from the top down. So we were working bottom up. We're now going top down on our clouds. And the clouds have this really beautiful puffy texture. Go for it. Keep your brush strokes nice and big. And finish filling in the clouds. Go ahead and pause. Paint your clouds. Grab your red. Drop it in a well. Grab your blue. Drop it in a well. With my medium brush, mix these guys together. Very rich, dark purple. Beautiful color. It's a little dark for what we're doing, so we're gonna add a touch of white to that. And this touch of white, it's still gonna be a dark, rich purple, but it's just gonna look a little bit more like itself and not look like a black oversaturated color. And we're going to paint in our darkest areas. So that is the tops of our rocks. This kind of middle background area. And when we're done with this, we will have painted in all the areas we washed in before. Everything will be covered. We're gonna hit this dark area in the front. Move along that edge. This kind of middle ground area. Go ahead and pause, paint in those areas. All right, now we're gonna grab our small brush, and this is the refinement stage. And we're gonna take our green, paint in the bases of our bushes. We're gonna add some white to that green. And because it's completely overhead light in this instance, all of the tops of our bushes are going to get this kind of green tint that goes on top. We're gonna clean these up later, but we're gonna make sure this is the last stage. We're painting in our small details like these bushes. And then I'm going in with just some water on a clean brush and blurring that edge of dark green and light green. Go ahead and pause, paint in the bushes. Grab your white. Add the white to both your straight up orange and if you still have white in the middle of your canvas, leave it there, not add some more there because we're going to hit our white a little later. And this is going to be your lightest areas of the rocks are going to get this highlight tone. And at its lightest, because this orange has a lot of white already in it, or a lot of yellow in it, it's going to come across almost like a yellow, because we have so much red on the page. So this is going to look very yellow and warm, like the sunlight. And we're just painting in these highlighted areas, smaller strokes, a little bit more control. The striping. This is where the rock changes its texture, or it's texture, it's topography, and it's catching the light of the sun from above. So small, short strokes in these areas. This is breaking up the work we've already done, giving it some highlight, giving it some warmth. The side of the road detail. You might want to watch this a couple times because there's a lot of little spots we go in. Go ahead and pause, paint in your light areas. We're going to just work with that rust color that we worked with before, and we're just going to reinforce all the areas we want to hit that really rich color. Anywhere that's looking a little too thin, we're going to reinforce with that red color, rusty red. If you need more of it, this was your red, your orange, plus a little bit of the violet mixture. So I'm going with a small brush and small strokes and painting in those areas. Grab your orange. We're going to paint straight up orange from the tube with our small brush. Hit all of these really rich orange areas. And be looking at your painting. You might have really hit some of these areas first and they don't need it. So take a look at your reference and take a look at your painting. Do some comparison. What needs some straight up orange, but now is the time to add it. Go ahead and pause, paint in your orange. And then reach for your lightest green. If you need to make more, that was your orange and your blue, plus a lot of white. And these are just some small strokes right on top. Hit your highlights one last time. Be thinking that this is vegetation, it's leaves. Just kind of keep that in mind when you're making your strokes. Go ahead and pause, paint in your bushes. Grab your white, or if you added it to the center of your palette before and you still got some. And with your big brush or actually your medium brush and your white, paint in some hard white on top. Hit the tops of your clouds and anywhere that's going to catch some light from above with your white. You can use your big brush too. Looks like I used my smaller one or my medium one. And sign your landscape painting and display it. And thanks for painting with us today.